Hey everyone, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Nintendo Don to discuss his recent playtime with Mario Party Star Rush at Gamescom 2016. So, Don, what exactly did you get to see?
I finally got hands-on with the game,
Awesome.
which took way too long for Nintendo to do that, because the game is coming out in October. The last time I saw it, they only gave us a presentation, which was isn't exactly the same. Like, you can watch it for a while and observe things now and again, but at the same time it's better than when you actually play the game.
Yeah, you can absorb more of it because it's easy to look at it and not really understand exactly what's going on, because I believe they had just showed us I don't even know what it's called, the Toad mode.
Yeah, Toad Scramble. I'm actually surprised by how much there is in that thing. So they immediately threw us into Toad Scramble and we could choose a level, any level we liked. Not all the levels were unlocked yet, but it seemed there are about 5 worlds for each 3 levels, so there's a lot of content there, board-wise. And the irritation still stays, it still are grid-based boards, and that's my big negative with the entire thing. At the same time though, there's still 15 boards to play, which is a lot for a single mode. Which is rather intriguing to me, because I never imagined that Mario Party games could have that much amount of content.
Not recently, anyway.
But yeah, I got to see a grass level, I got to see a spooky level, I got to see a beach level. Well, I got to play them.
For those who haven't actually got hasn't really seen the demonstration or anything like that, exactly how does Toad Scramble play? What is your objective? How do you move? All that good stuff.
So basically, you all start as Toads. So a red, yellow, blue, and a green Toad. And you move around the board. You all roll at the same time, which is something that Mario Party has never done before, but then again they also did stuff with a car, so it goes either way, really.
Yeah.
But now you have actual freedom to move around again, even though it is this grid-based environment, so it's not exactly the same as you would remember. There are not any interesting sights to be seen, but there are gimmicks on the board that keep that stuff interesting, though. There are item spaces that give you items, obviously. There are special event spaces that do different stuff. For example, on the spooky board, there was a special switch. When pressed, all the spikes in the level would change, which would give access to certain areas and close off others.
Okay.
So you need to be very strategic when you move that, because with the grid-based system, you can move around in any direction that you like. So you can easily do a loop if you throw 6 and then go direct to the direct space you just landed on, if it's really beneficial to you. So there is a lot different strategy involved than the other Mario parties, but I like that. There are 2 goals here. The first off is that you go out and defeat bosses. Depending on the size of the board that you play, there are smaller boards and bigger boards in each of these worlds. That depends on how many boss battles minigames you're gonna encounter. The easiest boards will have 3, the bigger boards will have 5. It goes around about that. There seem to be a limited amount of these boss minigames, which is a problem in my opinion. And that was also kind of a problem with Mario Party 9 and 10, where the boss minigames are good, they are fun, but there are not enough of them.
So you kept seeing repeats, so could you estimate how many different bosses you've seen, grand total?
I think I've seen 8 at this point. There might be a bit more than that, obviously. But it's easier to see repeats when maybe the max amount is 12 or 13 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there are some interesting and fun ones. So for example, there is a big blooper fight where it's all rhythm based, and you have to jump a certain height to hop against the ball, and then we'll move on to the next player. You have to do it really on the rhythm of the music. It's really challenging but really fun. A other one is where you have to select different cards that move you further away from the enemy, and how further away you are, the more damage you do against that enemy. So you can go up to 5 spots, and if you are very near towards the end, you do 5 points of damage to either opponent. So there are different stuff in there. There's a good variation at least in there.
At least each boss is different from the others. It's just you might need more of them because of how many you can encounter within a single board. With the boards themselves, though, after each turn, after everybody goes, is there a minigame like traditionally, or do the minigames have to be activated in other ways?
So the minigames are now dedicated to what is known as coin balloons. So when you hit a coin balloon, a minigame will start. You also get a coin bonus for starting the minigame in general, and you get to choose the minigame that you're all gonna play. There's a very good variation there, for it mostly seems to be free-for-all minigames, which is fine. I have no issues with that, and it seemed to be like really fun ones all the way around, so I have no issue with that. Like, for example, you have to bunch on a whole bunch of trampolines, and you have to carry gems to the top, then go back to the bottom, carry another gem. You have to do that 3 times, which actually sort of becomes challenging, especially when you have 4 players running around. So there's a good quality of minigames there, and that earns you coins, and coins does actually have a purpose in this game, which I was previously kind of unsure of. Because the boss battles do give you stars. The first couple will give you 1 star, and the final one will give you 2. But in the end, there are still end bonuses to this game. So if you perform certain tasks in the game, like you are the one who walked across the most spaces, or walked the least, or earned the most coins, you get additional coins on top of that, and every 10 coins at the end of the match earns you an additional star.
Okay.
So they won't exactly go to waste, so you actually need to earn those coins, and you don't even have to spend them to make a difference. But I like that. It gives you a reason to really compete. Another way that you compete as well is another thing that they introduced, and that's partner characters. So you all start as Toads, but depending on the board that you play, different Super Mario characters will crop onto the board, and you have to collect them, and they will become part of your party. And every single one of these Super Mario characters has its own ability. So for example, Waluigi will have really high die rolls on 4 of the sides, but at 2 he will lose 2 coins each. And for example, with Peach, there is a higher chance for like decent enough rolls, and the last 2 sides are dependent on how many partners you have in your party. So for example, you have 3 partners in your party. That means that when you go to that side, you get a roll of 3.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And you can sort of, it's good or bad depending on how many partners you have. That's pretty clever.
So all of the partners that are in your party will also individually roll. So this could really stack up in your favor. On the flip side though, you are required to hit certain points right on the spot. For example, the boss minigame, you are required to hit that exact same space. So if you shoot over that, you will have a problem. So it could work for and against your favor to have a huge or small amount of people in your party. And those partner characters actually really help you in a lot of different ways, because even in the boss battles, they will help you to do different tasks or score additional points.
Okay, cool. It's nice to see them sort of have a purpose, because there was a little worrying when I first saw the game and saw only Toads and then the other characters as partners. But it's nice to see them bring a bit more uniqueness to each character within Mario Party.
It also makes it really worth it to go out of your way, because you are competing for those stars, you are competing for those coins, but at the same time, when you have more people in your party, there is a lot of potential there to pull the game more into your favor. It's a risk-reward thing, and I really like that about this Toad Scramble mode. In Mario Party 9 and 10, I didn't feel that there was too many stakes involved anymore. It seemed to be, oh, you all have a good time on a car, which I guess, but at the same time, I feel kind of bored now. We're halfway through this thing, and I'm kind of waiting for this to end.
Yeah, exactly. So this kept you a lot more involved throughout the entire game.
Right, and I think that this could be like the real first Mario Party in a while now, because there's actually potential to screw people over. there's actual potential to do well and score in minigames, and there is a lot of ways where, I mean, it's not exactly the same as it used to be. It's not like it has main attractions to every board, but at least they're doing some different stuff that also makes it really work on a handheld.
And that seems to be the case. And, the Toad Scramble is only one of the modes. Have you heard about exactly what the other modes do, or is that still sort of a secret?
It's a secret, yeah.
Okay, so they're still keeping that close to the vest. But it is interesting that Toad Scramble is the one that they're putting forth. But beyond Toad Scramble, what mini games did you get to try out? How did they stand out to you, I guess, compared to the previous games?
I mentioned a few of the boss battle games, and they were fine. But mostly for the rest, it was mostly free-for-alls that I played. And I'm wondering if there are any dual minigames or run versus freeze in there, but I'm almost thinking there aren't, because else I would have encountered them, because I played really lengthy matches. Which is fine. I mean, there is still a lot of variables that you can do within free-for-all, but it does stand out to you where there are not any different minigames anymore. There's some of the minigames I played. For example, one of the more basic ones is that you have 2 plates of cookies. You can press the B or the A button, and depending on how many more people press a certain button, those cookies will be get shared across those 3 people or 2 people or 1 person. So there will be 2 obvious answers in front of you, one with a lot of cookies and one with a little less amount of them. Will you go for the big amount and see it more spread around, or will you go for the lesser one and maybe be the only one who picks that one?
Oh my gosh, that's some psychological stuff going on right there.
So I had a lot of times where I would choose the smaller plate, because obviously why not? Like 2 or 3 people would, and we would just end up with 1 cookie each, while the fourth person would be laughing its way to the bank. Man, that went poorly for me.
Yeah, you overthink things like, well, everybody, obviously everybody's going to go for the cookie tracer. I should go for the smaller one. But man, everybody's also thinking that same thing, so they'll go for the smaller one. So maybe I should go for the big one, but maybe they'll think that, and you kind of end up with this kind of loop. And I can see that being a lot of fun, just trying to figure out how your friends would think.
Especially because this is a local multiplayer game. I think when you're all sitting in the same room next to one another, you're just giving faces or ideas away.
So they have confirmed no online. I think that was probably said before, but yeah, no online.
Yeah, it's likely said before that there's no online in this thing, which is kind of obvious.
Yeah, it makes sense. 2
of the 3 matches I played solo, and I still had fun playing it, surprisingly enough, because those games go kind of fast. It's a good handheld game.
Okay.
But yeah, locally it's, I think, local and download? That's probably right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another minigame that I found really fun, and I think I talked about this previously, was the one where you all have a tray of nuts, and you have to carry them to the end of the level, and constantly the Goombrats from Super Mario Bros. U will try to knock them off, and the more you lose, the more you get closer to your death. And if you make it to the end of the stage, you are guaranteed the victor.
Oh wow.
So it also goes faster longer it goes on, so it becomes kind of insane. And it seemed to also be that a bunch of minigames are using the touchscreen.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't think previously of that, because honestly most of the games that I saw before used the buttons. Even in the Treehouse Live demo I didn't see anything that uses the touchscreen. But yeah, there was one minigame where you would have to put pieces together of a bridge and drag them to the right side of the screen and be basically the first to do that. It's a quick, fast-paced minigame. It's interesting to see that they're bringing that style kind of back, because I thought for a while that they were kind of done with it, especially when you look back at the previous Mario Party game on 3DS. It was all pretty much button-based. So
now, speaking of that previous one, there's also a few AR-based mini-games, and have you seen any signs of AR games in this one as well? They sort of cut those out.
I feel that they're focusing more on making this a good party game. It doesn't seem to have that many, outside of like the simple stuff like the touchscreen, it doesn't seem to have that many gimmicks, which makes it a more straightforward party game than they released in the last couple of years.
Definitely a good thing, yeah. But it sounds like there could be some issues, but like there's a step in the right direction. Is that sort of the sense you're getting from Star Rush?
Yeah, I feel that they're screwing people over again, which I think is the most fun part about Mario Party.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, Hopefully it's decent. Hopefully it's, better than what we've gotten recently. It seems like it has that chance, but what do you think? Do you think that has a shot at being a well-received Mario Party?
I actually think it has a chance, and I didn't think that would be the case previously because I was curious. I think there was some stuff that I did right, there was some stuff that I did wrong, but after playing it, after going through like a couple of those levels, I feel that they're handling this better than I expected it to be.
That's about the best we can hear, So yeah, it's great that they're learning and taking steps, and they're not, they're not letting this franchise die yet. They're trying to figure out what works.
Well, I would say that not really any Mario Party mattered since Mario Party 8.
Mm-hmm.
So it took them a while to make me actually be excited to be dickish in a Mario Party again.
Yeah, who knew? But yeah, I mean, it all sounds pretty good. I'm vaguely interested. I'm not totally sold yet, but I'll at least keep an eye on Star Rush for now. But I think that covers it for our Mario Party Star Rush discussion. So thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And Don, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, which is at Nintendaan. That's NANTENDAAN. Really can't speak today.
Yeah.
You can find more coverage that I'm working on right now for Gamescom over on NintendoWorldReport.com. I'm currently, this week is where all the interviews go up, and then later in the week I will start writing all the previews. Mm-hmm. Go Nintendo, Nintendo Force Magazine, YouTube, all that stuff.
All kinds of places.
All kinds of places, exactly. Exactly.
Alright, and of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Mario Party and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye.